buggy.
Wow, another upload within a month? I'm shocked too. It's set 16 now, and I wasn't doing too good with GP Luffy in set 15, so now it's time for the Purple Warrior to try something new. Yeah, that's right. We're going from a green Luffy deck to a green Luffy deck. Now, however, this green Luffy deck isn't like any other green Luffy deck. This one you have to have also a restriction on your leader effect, so it's totally different. If you can't tell, I'm being incredibly sarcastic. I'm going to pretend that I know what I'm doing with this deck while making this video, but honestly, this thing makes my brain hurt despite it being pretty straightforward. It is honestly pretty straightforward in theory. You play two small things, you play Buggy into Prisoner, then you play Boa, you use the event, you have 12 attacks, and you win. That's honestly what the deck's supposed to do. And it does it well, as you'll see later, but there are other plays and techs out of its archetype that you can use to improve the strategy. For this video, I use a meh kind of list, with not so popular choices at high level play, such as 2 copies of the 4-cost Rush Luffy, and using Champion Rifle. But if you want to know the events that people are using, I'll display them on screen. This deck is good, but it still doesn't feel great to go against Nami or Enel, especially not Enel. Though it's not entirely impossible, you can pull off a win. Just because the odds are against you, it doesn't mean you can't try. Yeah, Usopp isn't a meta matchup, but I have the thumbnail the way it is for a reason, so I have to show it off first. I end up keeping this hand because it has the 2/2 costs that I can play next turn. I end up going first. I think they took second from me just so I can't, play both on my first turn. But whatever, it's fine. Now, I don't know what's good in the Usopp deck, but I see that they're running the 8-cost Nami meant for the Black Purple Luffy, and they're running a bunch of Dressrosa stuff. So I'm just going to assume that it's pretty decent, considering it got some things in the latest set. So, whatever. I end up playing both the Bentham and the Daz Bones, and I draw a card each, because that's what their first effect does. You draw a card once you on play. They unfortunately get rid of my Bentham with that Zoro, so that kind of sucks. But, I have 2 more in hand, so it's not that big a deal. I end up going 5 first because I don't know what's in life, and I'd rather not lose what I play out just in case they get some weird trigger after life. But knowing Usopp, they kind of just defend life pretty hard, or at least normally they would, so I don't really know too well. Go 6 lead, because that's the obvious thing. I'm going to have 2 more 6s next turn. Now, they play the Cavendish, and that's going to be kind of an issue because that's going to help them cycle a lot of cards, and we don't want that, so we're going to have to try to either get rid of it or freeze it so that it doesn't get any kind of value. And they go 5 into lead. Probably just counter out of this because I kind of want to stay healthy too. Yeah, they're going to go 6 at me. I take that one. Luckily, it's another Mr. 3 trigger. They play that goddamn Rebecca that I hate. I just hate it. It's a cheap little 1-cost that becomes a blocker with a Dawn. Go 5 into 5 just to make life easy. They'll probably block out of it or counter. Again, they don't want to go low in life. They know what's going to happen. Freeze the Cavendish, and then we're just going to go 5 with the Ivankov, and then 6 with the Bentham. Put some pressure on them. Oh, it looks like I don't. I just go with 5 with the Ivankov because they got rid of their blocker. I guess I'm thinking, oh, well, I can swing with the 2 Bentham the next turn and the Boa. Currently, my hand is not amazing. It's just a bunch of 2Ks. If I had a Buggy, maybe it'd be a bit better. But if they try to get rid of this Ivankov, I'll let them get rid of it. They go 5 into 5. I should counter out of that. I don't want to get rid of the Mr. 3s in hand because those are useful in case he plays something that I can't swing over, or it's going to be, like another Cavendish. I want to make sure that they don't cycle too much. And they go 7 into 4. I'm going to let that go every day. And I get rid of the event because my chances of getting a full board of different things is very, very low at this point. I have 2 Benthams, I have a Boa, and I'm gonna have to attack with the Benthams this turn. And if I play anything else, you can see it's just gonna be a bunch of repeats. But I could just play the Mr. 3 in my hand, see what's up, freeze it, or something. And that KO blocker Usopp, it's gonna, what does it do? It returns a Fireless to my hand. So I have to somehow play around that, because I don't want to lose things. So I go 6 lead. Chances are they're going to use that blocker. Unless it says leader. I don't really know what these cards do. Knowing that they only have 2 cards in hand, I'm just going to go for the big 7-cost Luffy. Just get rid of it. And they draw a card off leader effect, which is okay. Not that big a deal. But this Luffy slowly builds a hand size pretty good. If you haven't noticed, you kind of get a lot of value off just the Mr. 3 and playing the Crocodile into the Bentham or playing into the Daz Bones. Plus you protect your things because they don't immediately die. Yeah, I lose my my Crocodile. But I just cycle it again, just draw another card. I was going to try to play a Mr. 3 and freeze the Cavendish, but because I play everything backwards, I ended up losing the Crocodile. But it's okay. We'll survive somehow. But back to what I said earlier. Notice how they're still at 3 life, because I'm very bad at the game and they're going to protect life. I get rid of the Daz Bones just because my thought process was I'm going to probably have a pretty low hand size at the end of the game, and he's not going to be able to attack for 6. Because if you didn't know, unless I have 5 cards in hand, he doesn't get his effect where he actually gains power, unlike the Bentham. 6 and the 5, that's a take. And there's another Rebecca. Finally drew into a buggy. So let's see what's up. 5 lead. Chances are they'll block it. If they take it, then I'd be really surprised because usually they don't take 5s. Yeah, they block it. Okay. Draw a card off leader effect. I get my buggy into impel down. Whenever you do that on the turn you're meant to, you're gonna get pretty close to winning the game because it's that's kind of hard to deal with. 2 6Ks next turn that you can attack with potentially, and one of them's a blocker if you need to. It's just pretty good in general. So I go 7 to 5. I don't know why. I think I just want to get 2 cards in hand or make him lose a life. Because the closer I get him to 2 life, the better. But he counters out of it. Like, he really doesn't want to take a hit. And 9 to 5, he's going to take that. I'm guessing I freeze the Cavendish. Yeah, there we go. And now I have an event in hand. And if by some miracle my Bentham survives, then I could potentially play the other green Mr. 3 for 2, give my buggy and my prisoner a Dawn each, attack with everything, and then restand everything with the event. Because that'll mean I have 5 things of different names. But they play a blocker, and they search out that Frankie, so they're going to play a more defensive turn. Get rid of my Bentham. They go 5 at lead. I kind of have to counter out of these. I don't want to die. Because who's to say that they don't have an unblockable thing in their hand? And they just load up on their Dawn. And I use the event because I don't have 4 bodies, instead I have 3. So the chances of me being able to do the whole event thing is very slim. And there's that Frankie, so that's going to get rid of a 5 cost or lower. So I have to play around that again. And that's kind of where this Luffy comes in. This is why I like the Luffy, because you can get rid of annoying blockers that will either get rid of your things or are too tall for you to get rid of. So now he has to block with the Rebecca if he wants to use a blocker. I can't attack with the boa. I don't know why I even click it. I go 6 lead. I guess I'm asking for a 2k. Or seeing if he'll use the blocker. And he does, and he's going to draw a card. So now he's back to 5. So notice how he always stays at around 5 cards in hand. That's because their leader effect doesn't really work unless you do that. I go 8 into one of their characters because I'm trying to limit the damage they can do to me. Because I'm at 1 life, and I have 4 cards in hand. Play a Crocodile, and then I just pass turn. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attacks coming at me. I have 1 life. But I have 2 blockers, so it's not the end of the world. And my hand's loaded with 2Ks. They go 7 into 5. Remember, I'm thinking that they have a unblockable card in their hand. And usually blue decks do. So I just let the Crocodile go. Because I need to make sure that I don't get hit with an unblockable. I have to make sure that all their Dawn gets used up before they try to go for unblockable. Because if I were to have taken that life, and they hit me with the unblockable next turn, they just load it up. I can't do anything about it. I'm just gonna lose. I take that life. I got lucky because it's a 0 cost event, so I can just trash a 2k, and instead of having 6k in hand, I'll have 7k in hand. So it's just 1,000 more, and that's, I think, what wins me the game. So to do all that crap to give Cavendish unblockable, so I'm gonna trash a 2k with the 0 cost event. And super lucky that I got that in life. That kind of won me the game. And there you go. He has 2 attacks left. And what he needs is for me to not have a blocker and a 2k. But I have a blocker and I have a 2k. And that's all he can go. Another 6. And he has no blockers. But I have a Luffy that lets me rest the blocker. So I'm going to go a simple 7 to life, or 9 actually. Because 9 demands 3 cards, and I'm resting a blocker. So they either have it or they take it. So I go 9 with the boa. They either have it or they take it. And the rest I just load up on Buggy. And that should be game. Really close game, I will say. If you notice the chat, you'll see it real quick. Yes, I'm very lucky. But yeah, kind of a strange game, I will say. Didn't know what to expect from the Usopp. Just kind of was playing this. This was when I was still learning the green-blue Luffy deck. I'm not too good with it now still, but whatever. It's 2 weeks ago. Not really a meta matchup as well, but, you know, people like Roger, so who cares? I'm deciding whether or not to keep this hand. I think I should because it has the Bentham, even though I'm going first. No clue what turn I want to go against Roger playing green-blue, but I'm going to assume that they took second for a reason, so whatever. Now's the turn to play the Bentham after attacking, because who knows, maybe I draw into a Des Bones, and if not, we play the Jinbei. I like Jinbei, so who cares? I draw into the Luffy, not a Daz Bones, but we'll play the Jinbei, because we just need attacks. Roger's biggest thing is they don't like to get hit with a lot of 5s and 6s early on, because they're just a 5k leader until they hit 10 Dawn. Once they are, then they're a 7k leader, and usually on that turn they're playing something that gives them 2k more power on their leader, so they're a 9k. So we're trying to get them before they get to that point. So I'll go 5 lead, get as much value as I can. If I go Ivankov, that means I'm looking for something. And honestly, that's probably the thing I should do, or play the Crocodile. Yeah, Crocodile's honestly a better choice. And there's the Daz Bones. I can set 2. Play the Daz Bones. I guess I decide to set up for next turn to really go for it. Because where are they at now? 8 Dawn. Next turn they'll be at 10. Yeah. If I can't get them next turn, it's going to be a while until I can beat them because they're going to be at a 9k a lot. So it really just depends on what I do next turn, what they have, and how well they can counter out of everything. I think it's best if I swing with that blocker too. I wouldn't want to just leave it. There's nothing really to defend. Yeah, we go 5 and then we go 5. Then we can go 6s afterwards. Just escalate the amount of damage. They take both, surprisingly. So their hands must be bricked. Like, really bricked. So I go Buggy into Prisoner, set my 2 Dawn. Just attack with everything is my guess. Because I honestly don't remember. And then a 7. I doubt they block. They're probably gonna give me a 2k, 1k. They gave me a 0 cost. They trashed one of their Rogers. They kind of need those. It gives their leader plus 2k. But they had another hand, so they probably have more. Like, a lot more. They're a 9k leader now. So next turn, I have to really go for, like, big hits. And the way you do that against leaders like this is you use the Mr. 3, the green one in my hand, and you load up on your 6k characters. So it goes 10 into 1. I guess that's all you could do, really. I don't know what they could have done. I guess they could have gone for the Crocodile instead. But the Bentham does copy their leader's power, so I don't blame them. Play the Boa, freeze their 10k Roger. I could have just gone for game this turn, but they have a Dawn up, and maybe they're all 2ks. And if that's the case, then I might just ruin it for myself, but I doubt it. I go 9 with the Buggy here. So I keep my 2 blockers. And... oh no, I go 9 with the Crocodile, actually. It's just a 1k for man, or a block, but they take it, so... I'm just assuming they have Roger now. Which, that would be scary, but they played the wrong Roger, not the red one. Or they play the purple one. He gives everything -2, which is... it's pretty good. But I think in this situation where they have no life, and I have a full board, gather a 9k. But I don't know. I just don't see where it ends badly for me at this point in time. Just let it go. Don't even consider saving it. Yeah, see, I just let it go. They have 6 cards in hand. They have a blocker. Everything on my board's -2. I just load up on everything on the Boa and then just hope that's enough. And 17 at 9. Most of their cards in their hand have to be 2Ks, but they probably isn't. And if you see that, they had 1K, 2K, and then a 3K with the event. So I'm just going to chalk it up to my opponent being bricked. This is probably not a representative, example of what Roger can do. Instead, I think I just got really lucky with my hand. They got really unlucky with theirs. I don't think they ramped as much as they wanted to. I'm not too sure. But this is just another little game to show you. This is a game against Mihawk, and I think this is also one of those early games where I was running a different deck list than what I have shown earlier. And I'll probably just show you the basics at the very end of what you should include and what are optional. But this matchup, I think as it stands currently, it's very favored into Green-Blue Luffy and very unfavored into Mihawk. I don't know if that changes very much with their new structure that's coming out. I'm sure it will. I'm sure it'll give us some cool things. But I picked going first because I'm 99% sure they want to go first in this matchup anyways. Or just in general. Two Crocodiles, a Luffy, Boa, Mulligan. I had a Bentham, but I mulliganed anyways. And this is arguably a better hand. I could have done the leader effect to play the other Luffy, but I don't know why I didn't. I probably should have done that. They play their Kid and Killer. You may trash this character, it does something. Who knows? I know it's a searcher. They draw Law and Beppo. So now this is the turn where I kind of go just 5 with lead. Now, this is where we just do searches and play the Daz Bones to draw into something. So Daz Bones first. Maybe we draw into a Bentham. We do leader effect. We play the 1 cost. Hope we find another 2 cost. We don't. But we do find a Boa, and we already have our Buggy and Prisoner. So I'm just looking for our pieces to play off of the Buggy and the Prisoner afterwards. I guess you could argue pick another Prisoner, but I don't like to think more than 2 turns ahead, so that's probably why I lose so many games. I go 5 to 5. They played the Laboon on their turn. And that's all they did. That thing just, it prevents removal of 7Ks or less. But they have to rest 2 things or something like that. Ooh, whatever. I play Crocodile, play Dad's Bones. Get my 2 Dawn back. Go 1 with the Luffy. Because these 2 are going to be 5s. If you didn't know, the Luffy gains power for every different named character. So as long as you have him and 3 other things, he's at least a 5k. They have 8 cards in hand. They should probably counter this, just because going to 1 life is not a good idea. And they do. But they went from 5 to 2 very fast. They rest their Laboon, get rid of my Luffy, that's fine. That's okay, because if I start losing things, the Luffys are virtually useless. They serve no purpose. And they swing with the Kid and Killer. I'm not going to get rid of any of these 2. I mean, the Laboon there's an argument to get rid of because I do have Gravity Blade, and if they do play a bunch of pesky Law blockers or some other thing, I do want to get rid of it, and that Laboon's going to keep it from happening. But they actually take the Laboon back, and the Law and what's it called? Bonnie get played out. I probably would have got rid of the Kid and Killer, because they get punished from my life here. Because I can just trigger bottom deck of 5 or less. And that sucks. So I just get rid of the Bonnie, the counter card. And this turn I have 2 options. Play the Boa or play the Raging Tiger. And I end up just playing the Boa. So we go 5. They can't use their blocker. Because that's what no rest means. And then we're going to go 5 with the Jinbei, I hope. And don't even bother swinging Kid and Killer. I'm pretty sure they use their effect if you go into it. Yeah, go 5 with the Jinbei. And then 6 with the Daz Bones. And then I'm hoping we go 6 with the Crocodile, because that's a lot more damage. And a card less from their hand. They gave me 2 Laboons, I'm pretty sure. I'll have to look back. You have to excuse me, I don't really pay attention. I'd end up not swinging with the Crocodile. I should have, though. It should have been something else that just gives a card out of hand. 2 to 2. I'm gonna save that just because I don't want to lose it. Because if they swung with leader into the Daz Bones or the Jinbei, I'm not gonna give a 2k for that. That's dumb. I don't need the Ivankov at this point. It's just a 1k. But now this way I don't lose 2 things. I didn't lose 1 thing either. Actually, I was gonna say if they go into the Daz Bones with leader, then I only lost 1 thing. I wouldn't recommend always saving your little things when they swing their little searchers or jump blockers into it. It's very occasional where you want to do that. They freeze the Daz Bones, they freeze the Jinbei, they play the Bonnie, but as you notice, there's no Laboon. So, what could that mean? Yeah, it's like I'm hovering over it. 2 blockers, they're both targets, I can get rid of them. So we get rid of them. And now they're gone. That whole turn they spent trying to get 2 blockers, it's just gone. Just go 5. And then probably go 6, yeah, because I have another Crocodile in hand. I can take the Daz Bones off the board and play it again, draw a card off of it. And we go 9. They take it, I'm assuming because they don't have enough counter. And just like that, I have a lot of attacks next turn. They have 1 life. Now they're going to freeze the bow, I think. Yeah, that sucks. But they're at 10 Dawn, so they're going to play that. They go 8 to 6. I should save this because I need every attack I can get. And they just concede. But they did have some, what, 1k encounter? Yeah, never mind. They're gonna get another 1k from life. That kind of sucks for them. I think this is also one of those games where they just kind of bricked. Maybe taking first from them also hurt them quite a bit. They had a lot of Bonnies in circulation. They're gonna draw into another one. I guess I don't know if what they trash, what the Mihawk says you have to trash for its resting thing or whatever. Who knows? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't know what Mihawk does. I just play against it and I do 50-50 against it. This is a teach matchup, and as you can see, we decided to go second. And I think this is a matchup where it's very favored for Luffy. But again, you could always just lose a matchup because you don't know what you're doing. But I play both Benthams because I have both in hand, so why not? Able to draw 2 cards off of both. Now, the Teach Leader, it gives everyone +1 cost on his side of the board. And they trash a trigger card, and they can redirect an attack to a Blackbeard card. So what they do is they play these little things that have on KO effects to deal with your board. So for example, the Vasco shot rests a 5 or less, or sorry, a 6 or less. And what they're gonna do here is they're gonna redirect 1 attack so that I don't go at them 3 times with the 2 Benthams and the leader. So if I was smart here, I'll attack with leader. Hopefully they do the Vasco shot attack, and then I can play Crocodile, pick up the Bentham, put it back down, draw a card, and then attack with the other Bentham. This way, I don't lose it, and it doesn't stay rested. And there you go. They redirect it. They rest the Bentham. So now I'm just gonna pick it up with the Crocodile, put it back down, and I'll restand 2 Dawn with my leader effect and attack with the other one. And just like that, you avoid disaster. Now they can go into that Bentham and it'll be okay because they'll have another one. So again, I want 1 of each different named things. And as you can see, this is also still a different deck list because it has the green 6-cost Crocodile that'll freeze any rested character. I think this was even before the other 2 games I've shown off. And they're using a Searcher. No, not Searcher. They're using Stage. They trash the Stage from hand. They search out this San Juan Wolf. And when that gets KO'd, their leader becomes a 7k base power. So we'll have to hit them with 7s if we want to do any kind of damage. And that's good for them, not great for us. So hopefully we can figure that out if he doesn't use it immediately. And he does put it down, so there it is. So I go 5 in the lead because I want to see if he uses the effect. And if he doesn't, then we just go 6 with the next attack. And if he does do that, then we can go 7 with the Bentham. Because it'll, or sorry, 8 with the Bentham. Because it'll match the effect of their leader. So that's why this card is pretty good. Or at least in this matchup. Because it'll match the leader effect. So I'm assuming if you go against Nami's, it'll also be pretty good. Yeah, just play the Buggy into Prisoner Event pull down. Draw a card. Or no, we play it completely backwards and I go Bentham first, which is not the right move. If I wanted to go 6, I should have gone with the Crocodile. Because that San Juan Wolf, if they don't use it, it's still only a 5k and they have to invest Dawn to KO my Crocodile, but you know, it's a free attack into Bentham. Yeah, set my stuff, set 2 Dawn active, and I'll probably play the other Bentham. Okay, so not totally a horrible move, but you know, I could have played that better. Five lead. Could just free block it. It's good practice to activate your blocker effect with Buggy, because who knows if they get rid of it. But yeah, I free block it after giving it blocker with the Buggy. They're going to go 6 into the Bentham, I would think, because if they go 6 into 6, it's not really a good idea. I just one card in my hand. Yeah, there we go. Now they get rid of it. They have some interesting things in trash. They'll probably play the 6 cost, yeah, that thing, the Shiryu, which puts a card from their trash in their life. And if I'm not mistaken, they put the Vasco shot in there so that they can rest a 6 cost on my next turn. So given that they have that there, it doesn't matter if they rest the Prisoner of Impel down after I swing with Buggy here, because either way a blocker's getting rested. And the sooner we get that out of life, the better. I'm guessing the accumulation of different cards in their life later on, and with it being like different things in their life, and you're attacking into them when they have all that stuff, it's gonna kind of suck for you because they can just rest things, gain power, rest things, gain power, you know. And I think I've had really bad luck in this matchup when I was playing GP Luffy, because there was like 2 San Juan Wolves in their life, and I just couldn't get past it. That kind of sucked, but it's fine. We learn from our mistakes. Go 6 into 5. And then, yeah, just play the Boa, freeze their Shiryu. Leader effect, and then attack with the Bentham. Yeah, they redirect to their Shiryu, but it's still a card out of their hand, and it's not the end of the world. Maybe I could have gone 8. Maybe they would have taken it. Who knows? Looking back, there's a lot of things I could have done differently. But they only have 2 attacks now because we just keep stopping them from having things and developing things. Because that 8 cost Shiryu, it's good, but it's really easily targeted by effects now. And for instance, that Mr. 3 in my hand, I can also freeze it again. They search out a 2K with the Lafitte, or however you pronounce it. They kill my Bentham, that's okay. We weren't expecting that to live. San Juan Wolf, I think they should just attack lead. Because if they go for board, I'm just going to save it. And I'm at 3 life. So, and with a lot of cards in hand. Okay, so 7. Yeah, they'll probably go life. And they do. Yeah, just take it. There's no point in protecting out of getting out of that. And they play a Borsellino, which I always forget that they do that they run that card. Luckily for us, we have some funny cards in our deck that can deal with that. And more funny cards if you would like to further deal with stuff like that. So we go 6 lead, right? Or we search. Yeah, we search. Okay. And top deck Luffy. That rests the blocker, if you remember. So that life they gained was literally only a life they gained. They don't have a blocker anymore. And they can only redirect into Blackbeard cards. And remember, 5 Dawn for that Luffy for it to get Rush. So it goes 6, rest their blocker. We don't care if they redirect at this point, because the only reason why we attacked with the Luffy was to get the blocker out of the way. We restand 2 Dawn. And so they have 1 card in life, so swinging with the Impel down, the Prisoner of Impel down, is a good idea here. They might just redirect the San Juan Wolf. Become a 7K. Oh, they had a 2K. Oh, no. Oh, they do redirect, so now they're a 7K. Our Boa can easily attack into that. I should just go 5 into the Lafitte. And I would, normally, because that's a free search for them for 1 Dawn if you just leave it up. You don't want that. And they already redirected for the turn. So if I wanted to attack with Crocodile, I could. It just means attaching Dawn. But I don't do that. I kind of just leave them up. Again, this was early on when I was playing. This is also kind of backwards. I replaced the Prisoner of Impel down for the Mr. 3 just to draw cards and freeze the Shiryu. I should have played this first, but I didn't know what I was going to get with the search. Hindsight is always 20/20. So you learn from me here. Probably do the Mr. 3 first, freeze it, and then do your search, and then find the Luffy like I would have. 2 Dawn, just leave them active. I have 3 events in hand. Now, on this turn, they're hoping to play the A-Cost event, or play the 10 Beard for 10 Dawn, and if they can't, they use the A-Cost event to play it for 8 Dawn, and I lose a life. They do search with stage, trashing another stage for the second time. They don't find it, but they do draw a Lafitte from it, and that's 2 Dawn, so they're still capable of finding the event card to play their big 10 costs, or their other 8 costs Blackbeard. I don't think they do, though. And once they don't, they kind of have to shift gears here and hope they can clear some of my board. And they do find the 8 costs, which they get a top 3 search and they can put it in life. But they opt for the Wiper and give everything -2. And if you didn't know, it'll KO everything with 0 power after it does that. So that thing's very deadly to your little characters. So you have to watch out for that. Luckily for me, I don't have any of them anymore, and I counter out of this hit to keep my Luffy, and it's over. He just concedes because if I have the counter to save the Luffy, I can just rest the blocker, and that's not an attack you can stop anymore. He can only do the redirect, and he has 3 cards in life. He only had, what, 3k? And 1 more coming in life. Yeah, the game was as good as over, unfortunately. I think it's just because Luffy's just good into Blackbeard, and not really it's not really an indication of who is the better player. It's just unfortunate for them. And it is time for the main events. I get to pick first. This is also a much older game. This is when Blue-Green Luffy was still kind of being figured out at the start when it had just come out. So I'm just gonna give that as the explanation as to why I have 2 champion rifles in the deck. I do a search just to find anything because we need both the buggy and the boa to continue. So I take the Daz Bones because I can play both next turn, and we're going to be drawing 2 cards, so I go hand neutral. They play Charlotte Pudding, and they're going to be looking for an event that helps them. But they whiffed! That's exactly what you want. You want them to not find anything with the Charlotte Pudding. Both times I played against this deck that I've won, they did that on their very first search. They just whiff it, and I ended up winning. Barely, but I won. Go 5 into 5. They have a Dawn up. I doubt they have any events that require 1 active Dawn. And then we're going to play back-to-back Daz Bones, so we have some board. And this is essentially board control the game, I'm going to assume, this matchup. Because they can get rid of our things really easily, and we can build board also very easily, but it's not exactly in our favor. From what I know on the stats on the sim, it is pretty lopsided in favor of Enel. But as you will see in this game, you can do it. Si se puede. They play the Holly into Shura. Shura gets rushed. That's going to suck, because now they have a 5 and a 6 coming at us. Surprised they haven't used any events currently to rest things. They probably don't have any at the moment. I do use a champion rifle to take something back, so they have to take something back, but they get to pick what active character they want to take back. So it's not as great as you would think. It is decent, though. And they take back the Charlotte Pudding because I guess they can just search again afterwards. Which, not great for us, but we did get something off their board. And it's one less thing they can take us with. If I were them, I would have used that pudding to search, and I would have just gone 5 lead. Because I know for a fact that I would have taken that 5 all day, every day for no reason. And I don't go into the Shura for whatever reason. I think it's because I thought, oh, I'll just go 2 into it. I don't know. Who knows? 5 Dawn. This would have been perfect for us to play a buggy, but we did not have one, unfortunately. I do go 3 into 2. because I can take advantage of the fact that Luffy has 3k power with 2 different name things on board. And they're not going to save that. That'd be dumb for them to save. I play Mr. 3. I need to draw cards. I need to find things I need next turn. I freeze the Holly, set 2 Dawn active, and then I go 6 twice, I'm going to assume. Put some pressure on them. And they have their events give them 2k each, like that one. So they can get out of both if they wanted to. And I don't. I keep up 1 Dawn for Champion Rifle. I guess I want them to use events to rest things so they can try to clear everything, but that doesn't make too much sense this turn. They play that godforsaken Trafalgar Law, or Trafalgar, however you want to pronounce it. It gets rid of one of my Benthams and a prisoner, and it dodges both my Mr. 3s and my Boa. So I was very fortunate there. They attach it on to the Holly using leader effect. I'm gonna pretend like I know. But they can't attack this turn, so they have 3 things on board, and all they can do is attack with leader. So, and they got Gamma Knife now. So if they want to later get rid of my Boa, they will be able to. They KO'd my rested Dasbones, which I think it doesn't have to be rested, so they should have gotten rid of the active one and then attacked into the rested one. They would have got rid of 2 things instead of 1. Yeah, that's a misplay on their part. But it's okay, we take advantage of this. Go 5 lead, make life easy, because they have to give me a card if they want to block it. And you're going to see later what I do against a certain blocker. Because I don't want them getting a free block. So the whole point is I don't want them being able to block without having to invest cards. So if they use the law here to block, they have to give me still 1k. I play the Mr. 3. I freeze the Holly again. Don't want the double attack. I'm afraid of that. Set 2 is active. And I say we go wide here. Play a Luffy. Oh yeah, I was running the other Mr. 3s that rest 5 or less, which aren't very good. I think I was running that at 2 or something, and I found both of them right there. Go 6 lead. They have to invest more cards if they want to protect the law, or they can just take the life or use an event. And then I go another Dasbones, and we finally have the buggy. So far, it's only been just small little bodies the whole time. And there's the Reiju. That was the blocker I was talking about earlier. It will become a 7k blocker later. And we don't want that getting free blocks. Because all we're swinging is 5s and 6s, unless we have Boa. They freeze my Dasbones with Lightning Dragon, which it freezes a 6,000 power or less. Which sucks, but they're not going to attack into it now. With Dasbones, they're just going to leave it. So my assumption is they don't have too much in their hand. So they go 5 lead with the pudding. I give them a 2k, okay. Now they could swing with the law. They probably won't. And I'll eat my words if they do. But they got lead left. Because I am not letting them attack with the Holly. I keep stunning it. And they go 8 to 5. That I'll take. I could have used Champion Rifle that turn 2. But I mean, if they take the law back, I'm just going to end up having to throw away 2 cards again. I go 5 lead, because currently as it stands, they can't free block with the Reiju. They still have to trash more cards. And as soon as they get the requirement, I can now be funny with my funny things and keep that Reiju from attacking. So we play Prisoner off the buggy. Set 2 active. Now we have 6 Dawn. I would attack with the Luffy if I could. It depends, really, here. I'm pretty sure I just play the Mr. 3. After taking forever, I decide to go 6 to pudding? Yeah. And I highly doubt they'll use the law. Yeah, they use the Reiju. Which, that stinks, but it's okay. Which, I don't know, was that worth saving? Was it worth resting the block? I guess it is, because it's not like I'm going to go into it. I stunned the Holly. The turn hasn't happened yet where I'm going to start messing with the Reiju, but it's okay. And then we go 5 into the pudding, because now they got to give me a counter card if they want to use the Law Blocker. Now, I'm not an expert on Enel, but I'm going to pretend like I know that they don't want to attack with blockers yet. They say that I have like 8 cards in hand, so I could get out of things. They probably know that the clapback will be really bad if they don't have any blockers. But they play the big Enel. They pick a card. They don't have to show me what that card is, which sucks. But they do trash another Enel, which I would think they want those for this matchup. I couldn't tell you if that's the case. If they want to play the big things or play a more controlled strategy like they have been. But I would assume two big 10Ks and more blockers would be better. Six to the Daz Bones. I activate blocker, but I'm not gonna, save it. And I guess the attached Dawn to the Law just in case I wanted to free block that or block it in 1K. But I'm not dumb, so I'm not gonna do that. This is now the turn where we can stun the Reiju. Because if they want to block, it'll cost them cards if they want to keep the board. And at this point, I'm not afraid of the Holly. I'm not afraid of the 10K. Set my Dawn is active. I have a lot of 2Ks, so I should be okay for a couple turns, especially if they try to go big with the double attack. So we go a simple 5 lead, because now they have to use that Law Blocker again. Like I keep saying, the Law Blocker, if they want to block, but plus a card. We're trying to make sure we diminish their hand size. So now 6. See, these would normally be free blocked by the Reiju. So now they have to give me an event. And so next, what do? That's right. I think I play the Bentham, because now I need board. I need to make sure I develop. I already did leader effect. Don't click leader. Go 6 with the Luffy, because now I have 5 different things. Perfect. And this is where I start to smell victory. They're at 1 life. But, it's never over until it's over. And there's that godforsaken Senior Pink. They take Elthor, which I forget what that does. But I'm sure I'll put it on screen. Right, they use leader effect and they attach Dawn to their Holly, which is fine. That's a 7K, I believe, to leader. Okay, now that's a 10K. And they're super indecisive as to whether or not they want to attack with the Holly. So they go 10 and 6. I activate blocker because I don't know what's going to happen. And I can use champion rifle now, or I can just let it go. So I just let the buggy go after activating blocker, which, I don't know. I don't know what I'd do now, but I guess it worked out in the end. They're still waiting to go and do that 10K. Yeah, that's the better move. Do a 5 and then do the double attack. But I use the champion rifle here because it now is as good a time as any. And I know for a fact they take a good minute here to decide what they want to take back. And if you didn't know, again, I'll say it again, they can take back any active character of theirs. They don't have to take back any of the blockers of the Holly, just take back the Senior Pink that you just played. But they take a minute to remember that, I guess. And as you see, they take back the Senior Pink. They use an event to remove a Dawn, but give something 1,000 power, and then they get rid of my Luffy. And that's fine. It does the same thing. They didn't lose any power for that. I don't think. Unless my math has been completely wrong and I was saying it was a 10k earlier. Oh no, it's still 10k. Okay. Yeah, I guess I can do some rudimentary math. Just the Jinbei. Oh, God. Okay, if you're ever in my spot, don't ever get rid of the Mr. Galdino. Get rid of the Jinbei. Because I could have at least given Dawn to the prisoner of Impel Down. I'm still not in a position where I can just win, though. So it's board control here, or it's or try to go for it, which I don't think it's a good idea to go for it. And we're gonna use the boa to freeze the Reiju again. Just keep them from being able to use it. It makes our life easier, and theirs not so much. And we get rid of the Holly finally. So now that that double attack nonsense is gone, we don't have to worry about that. Because that Reiju will not be able to attack next turn. They'll just have the Enel, their leader, and the Law. And we have 2 life with 5 cards in. They take a minute to decide, but it's okay. Now we just, I guess we go 5 lead because, what, they still have to commit to using the Law blocker. They're at 1 life. This is not a good spot for them. Go 6 lead. They have to have an event or a 2k. Or they can use the Law. They use Mamuragun, which will draw them a card, which is good for them. That's their event. And they give a Holly. We go 6 with lead with the Bentham, which is good again. We're just draining their hand size. You want to do this. They use an event. They use a Divine Departure to give +3, and they trash a 1k. So their hand's either really bad, or they're saving something for the next turn, which I don't know what they could have. And they let the Law go. And I have a Luffy now. So if they get rid of anything, or if they play a blocker, I know for sure 1 blocker, which I will target the Reiju every day of the week, it will be rested because of that Luffy. That's why I like the Luffy, and I think that's been pretty apparent throughout these games. Obviously, it's not always great to have. Sometimes I played games where I have both of them in hand, or 3 of them in hand, and just I lose the game because I have nothing but that. But it does come up. You play Senior Pink to draw El Thor, which is good for if they want to get rid of things. Or they can use it as counter. And they still have their 2 Enels, the leader and the character, to attack with. And seeing as they use Gamma Knife, they're going to try to get rid of the Boa. Because 2 unblockables is not good for them. At this point, the writing's on the wall. It's just, there's nothing they can do to bounce back. And I think that was the ultimate sign. Because 14 into 4, I'm not going to save that. But I guess there's nothing else they could have done. There just isn't. And they go 6 into 6. I'm going to save that. We don't want to lose things. And we have a board of 5 attacks. They have 1 blocker and 1 life. And they concede, which is fair because that was it. If you look at their hand, they had enough for a 7k and they had a 2k. So if I had gone 9 with the Boa, they had to take it. And then if I play the Luffy, rest the blocker, and then load up on it and attack with it, they can't get out of it. It's over. Again, this isn't an easy matchup for Luffy. I think, if anything, I got really lucky in some aspects. I think they were also unlucky in other aspects, but they had a lot of things. They did Enel things. They played Enel things. They did what they wanted to do for the most part. I think it just came down to me having a lot of stun, a lot of freezing, a lot of things to play, and a lot of draw. These are the cards that I think are mandatory 4-ofs and the Boa at a 3-of. The Luffy, obviously that's a 4-of. The Daz Bones has to be 4. The Mr. 2 has to be 4. Buggy absolutely has to be at 4. Prisoner of Impel Down. I have him at 8. I've seen people with 9. I think 8 is standard. I'm very grateful that 8 is standard and became standard because I've seen that very early on decks are running 10 or 12, and I was not going to drop another $40 for 12 of them. But yeah, Mr. 3, this is a 4-of. If you have 2, that sucks, but it's better than having 0. If you can run 4, run 4. I think that's a absolute 4-of. Crocodile. I see a lot of flagship, like major tournament deck lists run 4. I think 3 is fine. You can run 3. You can get away with 3 if you feel like 4 is too much. I run 3 personally. The event. A lot of decks have it at 2. I personally like it at 3 because I like to find it. I like using it too. I understand you're not going to always use it. It really is dependent on what you're going against and whether or not they let you keep a board. The Luffy, definite 1. I used to run it at 2. I sometimes run it at 2. Sometimes what you run into is that you have nothing but Luffy in your hand. So I keep it at 1 for now. I'm still trying to figure out whether or not I want it at 2. I do like it. The Crocodile. You don't have to run this. It freezes something. Well, it won't become active in the refresh phase, which is very much the same. I think this Crocodile ultimately helps you more often than not. Plus, it's 2 done less, and you can pick these up and play them back down. You cannot pick up the Luffy with the Crocodile. Overall, I think the Crocodile is just better. What is it? The Mr. 3. Again, this is at a this is a card where it's dependent on your game plan. I've seen a lot of lists run it at 4, and I'm assuming it's because they're making sure that they have Prisoner, Impel Down, Buggy on board and their Crocodile, and they want to use this. This is only good for your base power characters of 6,000. It does not work on anything else, so it doesn't work on the small Luffy or these guys. It does, however, work on this Luffy. Now, I like it at 2. You can go up to 3. This is just, again, personal choice. It's up to you. The Boa, like I said, 4. I don't know. What else is there? Ivankov. Ivankov is a 3. I like it at 2. Because I've noticed that if I end up playing an Ivankov, I end up the game never goes good for me. The Buggy into the Prisoner is better. What's next? This, I see a lot of lists running this now. I don't know how I feel about it. You're kind of just blindly checking the top card of your deck to play a 2 cost, and it only plays a 2 cost. Uh, I mean, it draws one when attacking, and it's a counter card. That's again preference. Uh, not not good. This ace is not good. Don't bother. Doflamingo, not necessary currently. Champion rifle. I thought it was gonna be more useful. It's not. I had it at 2 at max at one point. Besides the Enel game, it never was very good. So it's really up to you. The Mr. 3. People like this card at 1. I will say, with this deck, your one-ofs, you will see your one-ofs. So you don't have to worry about that. You can run this at 2. I had it at 2 at most. Or 1. Or you can just exclude it entirely. I've seen lists excluding it. Jinbei, I'm a Jinbei believer, so I like it at 2. I like playing it. But that's just me. This can be good for protection, but then again, you're just resting itself to protect your 6Ks unless it doesn't save your boa. And it's a blocker, but if you use the effect, you don't have a blocker anymore. So again, it's up to you. Now for the non-engine cards. Alright, as for the non-engine, there's quite a bit. You got Brook. I see everyone runs like 2 Brooks. I also have 2 Brooks in my deck. I do like it because it just rests any one card, and then you can trash it and set something with a 8 cost or less back active again, so you can attack with it again. So it works with your boa. You can't use leader effect with it on board, because if you do, you'll just waste it. It'll fizzle out. You won't get your 2 active done. You just gotta wait to use your effect after you use the Brook effect. Ashura. I've seen people argue that it's a better Brook. I've seen people argue that Brook's better than Ashura. Ashura does give you 3,000 power during your opponent's turn when you need counter, and it also rests to any two Dawn cards or any 2 characters, or you can do 1 and 1. I don't see why you wouldn't run 2 and 1, or if you like 2 and 2, go for it, or you can just not play either. I don't know what to call this card. I just call it All Out or whatever. This card is also one of those cards where it's like this or Luna, because this freezes 2 cards, 7 or less, and it can act as a counter card on your opponent's turn. But Luna freezes everything 7 or less, but it's a brick. So it's really up to preference. I think it's one or the other though. You can run this at 1, maybe this at 2 if you want, or you could run all 3 and 3. Who knows? It's whatever you want. Gravity Blade. I had Gravity Blade at 2. It bricked my hand a lot. Maybe it's because I play against my brother and he plays Yamato, and so this card's virtually useless. But this card is very good into Nami. It's very good into decks that also go wide. It's good into the mirror. I use this at a locals that I go to, and I was facing the mirror, and this came in. It was useful, and it worked. It actually won me the game. But you can run it at 1, you can run it at 2. I guess it's preference. I see a lot of lists run it at 2 if you're going to run it. I almost forgot Gum Gum Marine. Gum Gum Marine is the 0 cost event that gives +3. That won me a game earlier, as you saw earlier in the video, but I only have it at a 1 of. And it does bottom deck a 2 of from Trigger. I think that's just an auto include. It's not rotated out, so you don't have to worry about that. I personally like it. I think it's good. If you're running more bricks, you could, play 2 if you wanted. But I don't know. I think 1's fine. You don't brick that much. You don't have that many to worry about. But that's about it. That's kind of what you have to worry about when it comes to non-engine cards. Well, I mean, not the Rain. Rain is in engine. It's a impel down. You can actually search it off the Ivankov.
Yes, no, maybe. I don't know.